Warning, this video may contain content that may not be suitable for children or anyone else that is easily offended. Strong language, graphic content, nudity, bad jokes, and a possible idiot, aka myself, may be featured in the following clip. Viewer discretion is advised, and is not responsible for any damages that you receive watching this video. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Zems, and welcome to my horror story video. Today we're going to be talking about a swipe that cost somebody's life. But if you guys are new to the channel, my name is Reprisalzems, and welcome to the Crow's Nest. But for now, let's get it. Let's go. In England, the summer of July 2016, a 23-year-old by the name of Molly Mclaren set out to find love by swiping on Tinder. She's swiping. She finds a 26-year-old guy that was a warehouse worker who was later identified as Joshua Stimson. And he will become the swipe that cost her life. Molly was a hard worker. She was a college student. She also worked as a part-time bartender out in Chatham, Kent, which is located southeast of England. Joshua Stimson was originally from Potteries, which is in the northern region of Staffordshire, England, but he ended up moving to Chatham, Kent in order to pursue his career, whatever it was, in the warehouse, which he would later meet Molly. So they finally hit it off, and Molly decides, like, you know what? I've been talking to this guy Monday through Friday, Monday through Sunday, whatever it is throughout the month. I want to meet up with this guy and see if he is the guy that he says he is. So they meet up after 3 months of talking, and then in the midst of their conversation of getting to know each other, Josh mentions that he has bipolar disorder. So for many people, this probably would have been a red flag, like, wait a minute, bipolar disorder and stuff like that. Even for Molly's mom, it was a red flag. She was worried about it, and she said that she shouldn't be seeing somebody with bipolar disorder because it just probably wouldn't work out that way, you know, mother's intuition type thing. So being a great person that Molly is, she was like, it's okay, you know, I have flaws too, I have my problems, we can work it out, we can help each other. You guys should know that Molly suffered from bulimia, and she had some problems with anxiety, so she thought, you know, since you have problems, I have problems, we can have problems together, we can fix it and make it work because I know how it feels. But as months went on, you know, they had their ons and offs, and just like any other couple, they argued, they loved each other one day, hated each other the next day. But after a while, you know, they got used to it. He started going out and visiting her family. He chatted with her dad about football, and, you know, they talked about stuff. He even spent Father's Day with her father, which is a red flag for me. But then again, you know, who knows what he's going through? Maybe he's not close to his father, or, you know, his father was not there for him, or, you know, whatever the problem may be. I just thought that was a red flag, because usually you'll want to spend Father's Day with your father, and if your father's not present, you'll probably spend time with somebody that was close to your father, like your mother. But I don't know, that's just me. Molly's family even took a liking to him for quite some time too. They even supported him when he took part in the marathon in London back in April 2017, which raised charity for people that have bipolar disorder. But as time passed, and, you know, you get to know a person a little bit longer, and the relationship got deeper and evolved, the people closest to Molly started to notice the bizarre change of behavior inside of Stimson. They began to notice he developed selfish behaviors. He only wanted Molly to himself. He didn't allow her to go out to places. He wanted her for himself. He didn't want to meet none of her friends. He just didn't want to do anything that would have made her happy, pretty much. You know, that's kind of like a red flag. You take somebody to your house and they're not trying to meet your brother or your sister. They just want you for themselves. Like, they want to know what you're doing 24/7, just like outlandish, weird things that a normal person shouldn't do. He was a loner, and he was just acting weird and behaving erratically. He would get upset when Molly didn't want to listen to him for certain things, and over time the stuff just started to pile up until she could not take it any longer. He spent so much time with her that he started to cut out stuff in his life that got in the way of him spending time with her. He quit his job. You know, he opened up space for time. He was going to hang out with whoever friends that he did have to go back to Molly's house. He would sit outside, or he'll sit in a room to make sure she didn't go nowhere. It was just getting out of control, and it was just too much to handle. She became overwhelmed with studies, and her work and stuff got in the way, and she just had to get rid of this guy, but she didn't know how to do it. Final straw was when they were celebrating Molly's aunt's 60th birthday out in Essex, and she was out dancing with her cousins. She wasn't out dancing with any dudes or anything that may cause jealousy into the normal person, you get what I'm saying? He was staring at her while she was dancing. He gave her, like, you know, I don't want you dancing, like, come back over here and sit down. Look, you know, She was dancing with family members, and one of the nieces that never met this guy before said that she didn't like him. If a kid tells you that they don't like that person, 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna listen to that kid, because 9 times out of 10, I really honestly believe that kids can see things and notice things or feel things that we can't at a certain age. You get what I'm saying? You guys know what I'm talking about. Like, kids know. Like, if you bring your kids around and they don't like them, then it's a red flag. Like, just like dogs. If you, like, your dog likes everybody and you bring someone to your house and your dog start barking, you should be like, I don't know about that person. Fast forward a couple of nights, Molly went out with some of her friends, and she pulls Stimpson to the side and she's like, hey, I know we've been dating for some time, you know, blah, blah, blah. It's not gonna work out, I'm sorry. Obviously, being the person that he is, Stimpson goes into a blind rage, bruh. This dude takes to Facebook and starts saying outlandish stuff that was not true. He's like, oh, she's taking cocaine, she's addicted to drugs and stuff like that. He even goes as far as tagging her friends and her family so they can see the post as well. But them knowing the kind of person Molly is, they knew that she was not gonna be taking any kind of drugs and stuff like that, because she's already going through bulimia and anxiety, and she has a part-time job in school. You know what I'm saying? She's not going down that road because she has been making progress. And after quite some time of this happening, the mother was like, we need to go to the police. So they reach out to the police department and tell them what's been happening and stuff like that. And as always, the police was like, oh, we can't really do anything without proof. Do you have any evidence or whatnot? But they did reach out to him via phone call and told him, like, hey, if you do not stop, harassing her, then, it's going to be a problem. And he says, I have done nothing wrong. I've done nothing wrong. But if you think I have, there's more to come. 12 days later, we will find out exactly what he meant. 2 days before the murder, Stimpson was caught on CCTV purchasing a knife from Asada and Chatham. 30 minutes later, he was caught buying a pickaxe from home base. 2 days later, Molly was seen inside of the gym, doing her regular routine workout that she always does. You can tell that she was like a fit type of person. She really cared about her health. She cared about her body. So she was in the gym working out, and lo and behold, guess who pops up? The devil himself, Stimpson. He comes in, and you can tell like she's kind of like caught off guard, and she's like, well, what is he doing here? Kind of like the vibe of like, how do you know I'm here? Why are you here? We're not together no more. You're being weird. You're making me uncomfortable. You need to stop. In the video, you can see like she confronts him, or maybe he said something to her. They're talking for a little bit, and eventually you can see Stimpson leave the gym, exiting through the stairway. Moments later, Molly leaves the gym, and she would not predict what was waiting outside for her inside of the parking lot. She finally leaves the gym, and she's heading back to her vehicle. She enters her vehicle. Stimpson abandons his vehicle, and he heads over to her car, yanks her car doors open, and begins to stab this girl repeatedly over and over and over and over again. And she's fighting him off. She's trying her best to fight him off. She's screaming, she's honking the horn and stuff like that. So some time passes, and a brave bystander runs over and tries to stop the attack, but by then it's already too late. She had been stabbed over 75 times. Throughout her body, and her neck was cut. She had already succumbed to her injuries. It's crazy because like she was pleading for help for so long. And this is not just the first case. There's many cases of when women have reported men stalking them and the police can't do nothing about it, or they say, hey, you don't you do that. You stay away from her. I'm warning you. And then later on, that person ends up dead because they failed to do anything. Like do something more than a restraining order. A restraining order is not going to do anything. You telling them to stop is not going to do anything. Once a killer has his eyes on something that they want, they're going to fulfill the mission unless you stop them, bruh. That's just how it is. Everybody knows that, right? Covered in blood, he was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. Later on, it was consulted that he didn't have any bipolar disorder that entire time. He just had a hypersensitivity to rejection. His trial at the Maidstone Crown Court, where 2 of his exes came forward to testify, and we found out even more startling information on this dude that dates back to 2013. One of his exes had stated that when she was dating him back in 2013, that he had spit a drink in her face after she decided that she didn't want to be with him no more. So after that, he left outside the club and he waited outside for her for hours for her to leave. She was one of the lucky ones that got away. Alexander Dell, one of his second exes, had said that he followed her into nightclubs and take pictures of her, throughout the club without her permission. He even sent photos of himself at her back garden, him being there. And then he told her while she was on holiday, which is like pretty much like vacation or whatnot, he was going to fly out and drown her. And they reported him back in 2013, and the Staffordshire Police Department said there was nothing that they could do about it. But since then, they're policies have changed, and now they are forced to seek action even if the victim decides not to push the matter further. So they're going to reach out and make sure that that person is pretty much put on like a profile or whatever it is, something that they can monitor, so when if any more cases come up, they know which person to kind of like contact and do all that stuff and make sure that such a tragedy like this one doesn't happen again. But after the trial, he was convicted in February of 2018 of first-degree murder. Like I said before, he tried to plead for manslaughter and they denied that, and they were like, nah. They convicted him in the first 3 hours. After Molly's death, her family and friends started a foundation named after Molly Mclaren to kind of like reach out and raise awareness of bulimia and anxiety, and you know, on how charities and how this stuff works, and just pretty much just have a door open for those that may need it. And on the page it reads, for those of you who are close to Molly, you will know that she battled with bulimia and subsequently anxiety as a result of an eating disorder for many years of her life. Instead of letting this beat her, she shared her own story in hopes of empowering others around her. We want to create a legacy in her honor by channeling her passion and drive to create the most positive outcome possible through the creation of the Molly Mclaren Foundation. So if you guys, man, enjoyed this story, man, let me know down in the comment section. As you guys know, I really don't feel like I am a good at storytelling. I talk too fast. I don't really have that spooky vibe to me, but you know, I think I did pretty decent. But if you guys want to check out the Mclaren Foundation, I'm going to leave a link down in the comment section, man. Thank you guys so much for listening, and just be aware of your surroundings, man. Always keep some kind of pepper spray or taser. Just be all on your door. Always lock your doors when you first get in the car. You know what I'm saying? Do your best that you can to protect yourself, because the world is a crazy place. And just to let you know, it didn't happen that long ago. It happened 3-4 years ago, so that's not far at all. So just be careful who you date. Be careful what apps you use. Just make sure you know that person that you're dating. If you start seeing red flags early, trust your gut, trust your family, man. Just look out for your best interest and just do what you can do to protect yourself. But again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Don't forget, the giveaway is tomorrow, so if you guys haven't already, man, make sure you go down in the description box, click on that link, and submit yourself to a chance to win $60 towards Pokemon or whatever you want to use that.